Hello, Houston Texans fans. Today we have some hot news that you can't miss. So get ready because there's a lot of important information coming. Before we start, we'd like to take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and stay up to date with all the news about our Houston Texans. Don't forget to leave a like, which really strengthens our community and helps bring this content to those who are most passionate about the team. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. Texans bolster backfield with signing of former Giants FB Jacob Johnson. The Houston Texans continue to make moves this offseason and are adding another piece to their roster for the 2025 season. According to multiple sources, the team has agreed to a one-year contract with free agent fullback Jacob Johnson, formerly of the New York Giants. Johnson's arrival added experience and versatility to the Texans' offense, especially in quarterback protection and in the running game. The 30-year-old German has a solid NFL pedigree and has been with a number of franchises since entering the league as an undrafted free agent. NFL stint and Nick Caley connection. Johnson began his NFL career in 2019 with the New England Patriots, where he spent 3 seasons under Bill Belichick. During that time, he developed his game as a physical and reliable fullback, playing both as a blocker for the running game and as an occasional piece in the passing attack. After his time with the Patriots, he signed with the Las Vegas Raiders, where he remained between 2022 and 2023. In 2024, Johnson joined the New York Giants, but had a low-key year, spending much of his time on practice squad and participating in only 3 regular season games. One factor that could make it easier for him to adapt to the Texan system is the presence of new offensive coordinator Nick Caley, who worked with Johnson in New England when he was a tight ends and fullbacks coach. This familiarity could be a differentiator for the player in earning a spot on the final roster. What can Johnson add to the Texans' offense? Although fullback has become a lesser-used position on some NFL teams, he can still play an important role in the Texans' offensive scheme. Johnson is known for his physical strength, tactical discipline, and ability to open up lanes for running backs, as well as contributing to short-range plays and protecting the quarterback. With this signing, Houston add an experienced name to its backfield, and Johnson will have a chance to compete for a spot on the final 53-man roster for the 2025 season. His performance in training camp and the preseason will be crucial in determining his future with the franchise. Can Johnson establish himself on the team and help the Texans have a more consistent running game? That will be one of the stories to keep an eye on in the coming months. Houston Texans bolster secondary with signing of Ronald Darby. The Houston Texans continue to make moves in the offseason and announced on Monday afternoon the signing of cornerback Ronald Darby to a 1-year, $2.5 million contract. At 30 years old, Darby arrives to add experience to the Texans' defense after a low-key stint with the Jacksonville Jaguars last season. Despite not having had his best moment in the NFL recently, Darby had a reasonable production in 2024, recording 46 tackles and 9 pass deflections. In his career, he has 447 tackles, 8 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. Selected in the second round of the 2015 draft by the Buffalo Bills, the cornerback had significant stints with the Philadelphia Eagles, where he won Super Bowl 52, in addition to playing for the Washington Commanders, Denver Broncos, Baltimore Ravens, and most recently, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the big question is, will Darby be able to rediscover his best football skills in Houston? With a strengthened defense and a competitive team, the veteran may have the opportunity to stand out in the league again. Houston Texans and the defensive overhaul for 2025. Darby's arrival is part of a larger plan by the Houston Texans to strengthen their defense this offseason. The Texans invested heavily in the sector, bringing in defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins and fellow defensive tackle Mario Edwards to reinforce the defensive line. In addition, they guaranteed the permanence of one of their biggest prospects, signing a historic contract extension with cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. Another important move was the acquisition of safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, who arrives to provide even more security to the defense. With these additions, the Texans' defensive sector becomes one of the most intriguing next season, promising greater solidity against opposing attacks, offensive changes, and the impact on the team. But it wasn't just the defense that underwent changes. The Houston Texans also made significant changes on offense. The franchise decided to get rid of offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil, who was traded to the Washington Commanders, which indicates a possible overhaul of the offensive line. In the receiving core, the team added wide receiver Christian Kirk and signed the versatile Braxton Berrios, bringing more options to quarterback C.J. Stroud, who is entering his second season in the league. After 2 consecutive eliminations in the AFC divisional round, the Texans are looking to take a step forward and establish themselves as a real contender for the conference title. What can we expect from Ronald Darby and the Houston Texans in 2025? Ronald Darby arrives at a team on the rise and has a chance to redeem himself after years of inconsistent performances. With an increasingly strong roster, the Texans show ambition and confidence in fighting for the top spot in the AFC. With a young and promising quarterback in C.J. Stroud surrounded by experienced players, Houston is building a competitive team on both offense and defense.